the dog was sorry. Anyway, sorry. Hello. I don't know. I've been in like a podcasty mood lately, so I wanted to do another one. Also, I admitting I stayed up a little bit late last night, and I feel tired. Um, I did. I was actually speaking of like doing videos and stuff like that. A while back, I mentioned how I wanted to do Life is Strange stuff. I will say I have finished the first game on the first game, the very first one. So, uh, it's definitely an interesting time. So I'm not gonna get too much detail because obviously I'm not gonna spoil the video for you guys. It's gonna be a long ways away before that comes out, but yeah. But yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. That's why I'm like a little tired. It's not like I'm extremely tired. It was just more like an emotional roller coaster type of thing. Um, but I was like, I'm not really into playing anything. Today. So I was like, why not a podcast? Because one, again, like I said, as the title goes, I was thinking about like nostalgia stuff, and two, it kind of fits with this nostalgia because recently it was my birthday. As some of you maybe know, if not, it's on the 9th. And yeah, not really related to my birthday. I mean, at least in the sense of like I'm not making this video because I'm talking about my birthday. Though I've not done a birthday thing in a long while, but that kind of happens. But yeah, I'm pretty proud now. I am in my mid-20s. I'm feeling old. My brain is hardened, as Gaza said. But no, I'm not really old. But I don't know about the brain hardening thing. I've maybe I don't know. Is my brain harder? I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing or not. But anyway, so um, but yeah, I was kind of feeling nostalgic kind of thing. I was thinking about 2000 stuff because last night I dad was like looking at like old like 70s stuff, and specifically it was like stuff in like like sounds from the 70s that like are nostalgic and things like that. And I was like, yeah, I have a couple of those with me that like have stuck out, and like there's definitely stuff if like if I heard it I'd kind of go oh, you know. um so not exactly talking about that, but like that's kind of what like brought up this discussion. I as you see in this description too, I also will do like this little weird little music quiz. It's obviously not playing any actual music because I can't do that, but I can read lyrics off and I can guess the lyrics. So I don't know how well I'll go with that, if it's gonna go well or not. I know new 2000 songs, but I don't know if I know like a lot of pop stuff or not. We'll see. I just thought it'd be something fun, but that's for later. I don't know when later, but later, maybe like next like 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe we'll get into that. But yeah, I kind of wanted though to talk about something different because it was like I kind of had this weird like speaking of music with like nostalgia kind of thing. Like I was listening to 30s Race. I think I just wanted to listen to a song, and in like the comments I saw like someone. I'm not gonna go into like certain details like that because I don't want to like out this person if like you do go through the comments. But like there was this kid who was like saying like, oh yeah, I heard the song when I was this age and now I'm like this age now, and it wasn't like a great difference of age. Like it was like kid to like kid essentially, but like slightly older, and I kind of was just like confused by that because I'm like, how? And it's not the first time I've seen this where like someone said like I remember listening to this song when I was like 5 and now I'm like 10 or something like that. I don't know, I'm exaggerating, but things like that where like they said like this and that. It's like only been a few years, and it's like, how are you feeling? At least I would imagine feeling nostalgic for that kind of thing. And I don't know, like if I was to guess, like if I had a theory about this, it's like I think because a lot of us now, people specifically my age and a little older, and maybe a little younger, I don't know, people who are in their 20s slash like early 30s, let's just say that way, or like kind of feeling nostalgic for like a lot of older songs from 2000s and 2010s and things like that, and of course we are like putting into videos being like, oh god, I remember when this song came out, but those were the days, kind of thing. It's like something like 10 or so years ago, like even longer than that probably, were some songs, and we're typing that kind of stuff out, and I'm wondering if like kids are trying to engage by being like, oh, they talk about remembering listening song a long time ago. Maybe that's something I can do to look cool. And I'm like, one, don't do that too. um, it's just weird because it's like the thing is about nostalgia, and I think because I remember when I was a kid, there was this actually kind of goes a little deep with that. There was a thing with Nickelodeon called like Teen Nick, and around I want to say maybe like the late 2000s, early 2010s, they started doing like the nostalgia stuff where they had the stuff from the 90s like playing on there. You know, Rugrats, trying to remember, just like, you know, yeah, just the 90s stuff like Rugrats, Cat Dog, Rocko's Modern Life, and things like that. Just like a lot of like the you know, stuff from that point. And it was cool, and I liked watching that stuff. You know, it got me to actually get into those kind of things, which I guess now I'm sort of nostalgic for in its own way. So I guess it's a full circle moment. But the thing is, it's like I always found it weird the concept of like nostalgia back then, because they kept saying like a nostalgic throwback and things like that. It's pretty much like millennials when they started hitting like becoming adults is like when they like were starting to do this, you know, and thing. And I just didn't really comprehend it at the time what nostalgia meant. Really, in my opinion, I thought it was something of just like old stuff coming back and becoming new again. Which technically, yes, that is what nostalgia is. But I think obviously now feeling nostalgia as an adult and understanding like why that was something, and probably I guarantee Teen Nick, if they're still doing that, they're probably playing stuff from my childhood, so that makes me kind of feel kind of like, oh man, you know, kind of a moment. Again, really going full circle, you know, type of a situation that like nostalgia. Yes, nostalgia is something that is happy. I think there is the sense of happiness of being like, oh yeah, I remember that time and made me feel good. I remember when this thing and that thing came out and what it was like. But it's also, I feel like the best word for it is like melancholic, I think, because it's like there is a sense of like kind of sadness to it, in the sense that you want to go back to that time. You want that feeling again of not having to worry about responsibilities and the world being the way it is, especially right now. Um, in general, kind of a thing. And so like, you know, I do have this like, I'm hoping like my theory, what I said with like, oh, it's just like they're trying to be hip with us, you know, kind of thing. But I do have this like a hint, kind of weird hint of like worry of it, where I'm worried that they are actually feeling nostalgic, like they actually are feeling nostalgia. Cause again, let's just like say a different, like let's say a random example. Like this kid is like 17, and now, you know, they were listening to like things when they were like 10 or something, and it's like that's not that long. I mean, yeah, 7 years is like quite a bit of time, but it's not the same as like, oh, I remember this thing like from 15 years ago or something. Like in that like regard, you know, I remember when something was in like 2010, you know, because I'm 25 right now, so like, you know, that kind of thing. But it's like I don't think, I feel like it's weird for like a teenager to like miss an aspect of childhood, unless of course there's something going on in their life at this current moment that's like making it kind of rough. And it's definitely, I don't know, it's definitely a concern. I mean, again, I've mentioned many times on this channel about like how I'm concerned for like the recent generation of kids, because it's like I'm more in the concern category of like, I feel like I feel like I had like discussion, I think, with Gus on here. I don't know if it was on a podcast. I think it was like a random video I was doing. But like we're talking about essentially like the kind of the fear of like thinking that kids are growing up too fast. You know, they're not having a childhood. They pretty much go through like their like somewhat of their adolescence years, and then pretty much like I want to say probably roughly around like when they're like 7 or 8, they kind of just start kind of maturing faster, so they don't really have a preteen set, you know, years type of thing. Like they don't have like the normal like age years of like being a child and then being a preteen and then being a teenager. It's like they have being a kid and then kind of acting like a teenager, and like immediately, and it's kind of disconcerting. Um, it's very kind of like, again, like, it's making me go like, again, like, why I'm like fearing like they maybe are feeling a bit of nostalgia, because it's like I don't think they're not having a childhood properly. And if you're not having a childhood properly, yeah, you're gonna get probably nostalgic faster for things that, like, you only had like a brief moment experience, type of a thing. I don't know. It again. I can go on. I can be like, these kids nowadays, but like, I do worry, and it's one of those things where, like, I'm not the person who's gonna be like, oh, I hate, like, all the stupid trends and slang and stuff like that. Like, look, as Gen Z, we had some weird stuff. Okay, we did. No one wants to admit it, but we did. We did a lot of cringe things. Okay, it's on the internet out there. You can see it. It's out there. We've done a lot of cringy things, and I'm okay with that. Look, half of my cringe stuff content is still on this channel, so, like, I can't, be like, oh, they're cringe and we were better. It's like, no. Everyone has a cringe thing. What I am more concerned about is the thing of, like, I feel like kids are growing up too fast and they're not having a chance to be kids because of the internet and things like that. And them, again, like, or, my point about being like, oh, they want to try being like us adults who feel nostalgic and trying to feel that nostalgia, and it's like they don't quite understand it, type of a thing. So, like, I don't know, it's weird. I know I'm like spinning in circles when I'm saying this, because it's like it makes no sense, but like, ultimately my point is, it's like I do worry that like kids are not having childhoods because they're trying to act pretty much like us adults right now, because that's the cool thing, that's what they're seeing on the internet, and I think that's not good. I don't think they should be trying to act like adults right now. Especially, here's a hint to you all: being an adult sucks. It's not fun. Being an adult isn't glamorous or luxurious or whatever. It is not fun. Being mature isn't fun. I'm not saying being a child is something I'd rather be, but the thing is, like, you don't want to be an adult. And I know so many people. I've been told this when I was a kid and all that. Like, this whole thing of being like, you don't want to be an adult, enjoy being a kid while you can, kind of thing. Like, it's just, it's so cliche. But, like, legitimately, I'm saying this because it's like, it just sucks. And I wish someone out there can, like, tell kids that, hey, enjoy your childhood. Literally, like, do things that a kid does. It's okay, you know? Because, yeah, it may be cringe now, but it's like, you know what? Okay, you know, have fun. As long as you're having fun, it's fine, type of thing. But again, like, I'm hoping y'all not feel. I hope they all not like feeling nostalgia right now, like actually feeling nostalgia, because then it kind of slightly concerns me, because I'm like, you shouldn't be feeling nostalgia right now. You haven't lived life yet to be able to miss something, I don't know, but yeah. What are you going to do? I can't really change things right now. I have no control of that kind of thing. My phone posts every time. Why is this in my every time I stream? My phone just pops off. I think it's hilarious in some capacity. I think it's very hilarious. What the hell? Oh, what? Whoa, okay, little weird. I just alright. In random text. Anyway, so with that, I think it's a good time that we can move on to talking about my nostalgia and growing up in the 2000s. Okay, I was a kid in 2000s mostly. So, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in the 2000s. Like I said, there's a lot of sounds that I remember. Specifically, I was actually trying to explain to my dad the very specific thing of Disney's Fast Play. Which, if you don't know what Disney's Fast Play is, which I'd be kind of weirded out. Again, I don't know if you should be watching my stream if you don't know what that is. But unless of course you just never grew up watching DVDs, in that case, valid. I also had VHS a lot of the time, which again, the sound of putting it, like the whirling sound of putting a VHS into like the player is very nostalgic too. But so essentially, back in the 2000s, Disney had this kind of cool like setup thing where they had Disney's Fast Play, where if you didn't get to the controller or whatever like fast enough, you would have to endure ads. But if you got to the controller, you can pretty much skip ahead. So pretty much they would like explain like Disney's Fast Play is I can't like remember like exactly the quite quote wording for it, but like essentially you can go to the main menu or you can watch the commercials. But you pretty much had like a quick warning before you got there. If you didn't get to the controller in time, you had to watch the commercials. Which, yeah, obviously that was something. The fear of a child being like, "Where's the remote? Where is it? Where is it? No." Kind of freaking out. But obviously I was also mentioning XP. I grew up with Windows XP. And obviously the start and stop the opening of the computer sound and getting onto a profile and then the closing and the computer down, shutting it down. That's the word I was trying to starting up and shutting down. Good lord. Sounds are very nostalgic to me as well. You know what? No, I was about to mimic the sound, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not embarrassing myself today. I don't want to. But if you don't know what Windows XP sounds like, you can just literally Google Windows XP sound, and actually, you know what? No, I can find that really quick. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Let me turn my desktop audio on just for like a hot second, and let me do Windows XP start up sound. There's a lot of sound effects with that. Oh, it's uploaded that way. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just go with that. Hold on. Let me start it. Do the cinema mode. Okay, played anyway. Yeah, I was trying to get onto the YouTube page. Actually, hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get to the page. There you go. Didn't. Hey, I wanted to do it in cinema mode. Why? There you go. I wanted it to be in cinema. Okay, so here you go. Yeah. That's the starter sound. That's the startup sound. I don't know. Where's the let me see. Shut I could down sound. Apparently it's one word, shut down. Okay. I'm the same YouTuber person who has it. Beautiful. 2009 they posted that? Dang. Wow. But yeah. So there you go. So a little taste of some sound effects. I was gonna be like, I ain't doing no sound. There's also some other stuff I could mention with like XP, but like that's pretty much like the more important sounds for that. But yeah, no, that's nostalgic to me, very much so. I grew up with XP with that, so I'm saying like stereotypical like 2000 stuff, but like there's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but like that those were like those things. I don't know. I just thought of the meme of the fitness, the pacer test type of sound effect. I don't know. Which yeah, that had a meme for a while. But honest to God, I will say what's interesting about the pacer test, like again, the fitness brand pacer test is a multi-stage capacity test that gets progressively hard. Anyway, becomes a robot as I say it. No, if you don't know what if you for some odd reason never had the pacer test was pretty much a thing you had to do in gym class where pretty much you had to run by like two different lines essentially. So like you had your starting line and then you had a line you had to cross. So it gets progressively harder as it says. So pretty much you have like maybe like 30 seconds at the beginning to get to the line. Pretty easy. Then it cuts it down to like 5 seconds. So now you have 25 seconds to get to the line and type of thing, etc. So like you pretty much get to a point where you only have like a few seconds to get to like the next area. So essentially you wanted to get like the decent best time, or at least whatever time that you were required to get. I always get the required time. There was always the people who tried to be like, oh, yeah, I'm an athlete, I'll like go as long as I can, and they kept going unnecessarily, even though I was like, you know what, can we just move on from life? Type of thing. But also kind of meant that I was able to sit down and just chill for a while. So if they kept going, they kept going. But like I don't know how many rounds there are officially of that. Most people got to like around like 50 or something, like around 50 or stuff like that. I don't know how many rounds there are of that officially, but it was like the bing bing sound every time it would have you go. And then be like round 50 or something. I don't know, like it had a weird thing. I'm going into more details on that because everyone talks about the intro of that because it's a long intro that, like, if you've done it so many times, you're like, okay, get on with it, come on, kind of a thing. But, like, and also probably strike a fear in the hearts of many because it's like, oh god, I don't want to have to run type of thing. They also had, like, other ones too. It wasn't just the pacer tests. They had, like, I think, like, the push-up test. They had, like, sit-ups, things like that. So yeah, it was just in general like a gym thing you had to do. Gym thing. I don't know why. I'm like, what even accent that was. But yeah, that's like a thing too that I grew up. Oh, something I might have mentioned in general, of course, is the PlayStation startup sounds. At least for me, it was the PS2 or just game console startups, whatever console you grew up with. That kind of goes into that category. I know some people grew up with Xbox startup sound. I know people probably grew up with like the GameCube and things like that. I grew up with the PS2, so that sound is always nostalgic to me. And also the fear I have of the red screen of death is like unparalleled. Even like I hate to admit this, but even as like an adult, like I still have a PS2 and I like playing on it, and I do have the fear every time I start of like, is it gonna go to the red screen? Is it gonna go to the red screen? Oh my god, that was loud. um, red screen. Which, if you don't know what the red screen of death is, I will show you really quick because it is something very specific. Of a thing. So I guess I should show you what a normal one is. I'm acting like y'all probably don't know, but some of you probably never grew up with like some of these at least some of the consoles, because sometimes, like I said, I know that some people grew up with like Xbox and probably never had to deal with this type of thing, or again, grew up with the GameCube and had like different things. But it's like, so actually, before we get to the red screen, we'll just have like start up screen sound, whatever you want to call it. Etc. etc. But I'm assuming y'all don't know. But also, it's fun to look at this because again, if we're talking about nostalgia, I want to feel nostalgia. So we're feeling nostalgia. There you go. Nostalgia. Holy hell, that's loud. Oh, so sorry. I forgot to turn down the volume. Oh, see, I even get the. I had to, like. Oh, that's so funny. I had the fear for a second that I was gonna do the red screen. It was like, it's just a video. They don't have it. Why are you doing that? So, my bad. That was loud as hell. I will say that is one thing very specifically that was a nightmare. If you had the volume up so high because you're like watching TV and you start that, oh my god, that blasted your ears off. Like, just completely that sound. Like, oh my god. Like, it just would just, oh, it was so loud. So my apologies for that. I should have made sure that it wasn't gonna do that. Let me see. Okay, I think they had like different ones. Rare? What do you mean rare? What are you talking about rare? They're talking about rare. Oh, this is one of those fake ones. Okay, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? The rare red screen of death? I'm like, no. It's like, it's not rare. I mean, not often, but it's not rare. I wouldn't say it's rare. Anyway. Let's get to the red screen of death. Death. It's not a desk. The red screen of desk. What does that mean? I don't know. Oops, mother. Let's see. Yes. See. Here we go. Jesus, I am sorry that's I'm forgetting to turn it down. It's messing my ear up. Okay. I feel like I have to explain myself a little. Ooh, just hear that sound. Hold on, we'll sit with that for a sec. Okay, so y'all get the gist of that one. So, okay, so I feel like I have to explain myself a little bit because y'all probably being like, that scared you? What do you mean that scared you? How did that scare you as a kid? So, I'm gonna put you in a little bit of an imaginative spot, a little bit, like two different kind of scenarios. So, imagine, obviously, you're not having the thing blasted like I did for that, at the middle of the night. But let's say, you got a PlayStation in your room type of thing. You're up late. You don't, you're in the complete darkness, obviously, and you want to play, I don't know, whatever game you want to play on the PlayStation. You go to turn it on, you put the disc in, and it starts up normal, and then all of a sudden something changes, and you see that screen with the very ominous sound going on, and you have completely wet the bed because you're like, what the hell is that? You've never seen this screen before in your life, and it's terrifying. What did you do? Why is it saying you can't read the disc? Wait, what? You're freaked out. I will say the first time I ever saw that was not in the middle of the night, but it was something that I was not expecting. It was very unexpected. Type of thing. I put a disc in, it just didn't want to read it at the time, and it gave me the red screen death, and it freaked me out so bad that, like, I full on ran to, like, my parents' room, and I went to my dad, and I was like, Dad, like, freaking out, and he was like, what the hell are you talking about, kid? He never saw it at that time, either. So he goes, and he, like, looks at it, and he was like, oh, that's not good. And of course, like, he just kind of cleaned the disc, and then put it back in, and it was fine, and then, but it has instilled fear. I've seen it a couple more times since then, but it had really put some fear in me. And so every time, even now as an adult, I start my PlayStation, I have the slight fear of, like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Okay. And once I get to the PlayStation 2 logo thing, I feel safe. However, I've heard that sometimes that does not matter. That sometimes it can all of a sudden just fail and just go into that anyway. What it is specifically, if y'all are curious, if you want a little tech nerd moment, the reason that it does this sometimes is, one, sometimes it can't read the disc. Sometimes it just is so scratched that it's like it doesn't know what it is. Sometimes it does that if it's like a disc that is not native, to, like, that console. So let's say, like, you put, I don't know, a random, like, CD in or something, and, like, not that doesn't have anything or can't read it, and sometimes they'll have that too. Sometimes it does that if you're trying to put a I was gonna say bootleg like type of thing, an unauthorized copy of a game. Sometimes they'll do that. So there's reasons. Many other consoles have their own kind of versions of this, I think, but, like, the red screen is very, like, a big thing for people who grew up with PlayStation. This is, like, I feel like the only really instance, I think, since then. Like, they don't really have anything. You get, like, weird little, like, tiny air screens now. You don't really get, like, something like that dramatic. A lot of the time the game doesn't work. It just goes, okay, it didn't work. Kind of a thing. The PS1 had something similar to it. I never really grew up with, like, an actual PS1 console. We had PS1 games, but never the console. So it was not something I had to, like, worry, because I think it had its own red screen. There's also, like, the I forgot what it's called, but something Harmony. Personified Fear? Personified Fear, I think it was called. Type of thing. I don't know. Point is, yeah, different sounds. That's the 90s. That way. People grew up in the 90s that way. But yeah, that's my own thing. I don't really have anything, like, I'm trying to think of any other, like, sounds specifically that are, like, specifically nostalgic, where, like, if I heard it, I go, like, oh, I remember that. That's something I, remember. I mean, like I said, I mentioned the VHS kind of sound of it, like, playing and, like, doing things like that, but I feel like that's a kind of that's a multi-generational thing, for sure. um type of situation. But yeah, I mean the PS3 startup sound is kind of nostalgic too. But I didn't get until like a little later. But you know, it's still kind of nice of a startup sound. Um, but yeah, I guess I feel like I've been on this section long enough where I feel like I can move on to the next one, which is music type of stuff. We can get to that music quiz because why not? So yeah, this is a music quiz thing. Essentially, just guess the lyric. I don't know how well I do this, but yeah. Um, but yeah. So they also have it weirdly like this. I guess that could help. I suppose that kind of thing. Um, but yeah. So which 2003 chart topper had everyone in a venomous frenzy with the infamous lyric "A guy like you should wear a warning"? Uh, I don't know. Oh God. I don't know. Actually, I don't know that line lyrics. Some of this is gonna get into pop category where I'm gonna go shrug. Crazy in Love. I don't feel like that fits Crazy in Love. But maybe Can't Get You Out of My Head. I'm gonna do Crazy in Love anyway. I don't know why. Something is telling me that. Nope. It was. Oh, it was Toxic. Okay. Toxic. Okay. Interesting. That was my second guess. That's fine. I'm not doing anything to prove anything here. If anything, I'm just gonna prove that I don't know pop. This killer song said, "You better not kill the groove" in 2001. In for the kill, Lil Rux. Was Lil Rux doing things in like 2000s? I don't think so. Fighter, getting away with murder on the dance floor. I don't think it's getting away with murder. Fighter? I'm not. Maybe murder on the dance floor. Let's just say that one. Okay, yeah, that sounds like the one that's more likely. For that, because I was like, I don't know. Whatever weather was in 2007, the singer could handle it. When the sun shines, we'll shine together. Okay, well I know that one. That one's Umbrella. Probably if you get to the later stuff, I probably might like the late 2000s. I probably might have a little better chance, but yeah. The Assassin 2 debut by the then 17-year-old singer slash songwriter had teenagers everywhere vibing with these lyrics. You're trying to be cool. You look like a fool to me. Tell me. Uh, what? Okay, 17-year-old. That's at least a hint I can get. But you're trying to be cool. You look like a fool to me. Tell me. I don't think I think Since You've Been Gone was like 2005. That might be wrong. If I ain't got you, complicated by Avril. Ooh. Ooh, I don't know. I'm realizing that I don't know. I know nothing. I know nothing. I don't know. Why am I wanting to say complicated? But like, Avril was young, but I don't think she was 17 at the time. I think when she was doing stuff, I think she was like in her early 20s. I think at that point. So I'm either saying Alicia Keys or Lily Allen. Fine, I'll do Alicia. So it is Avril. What? She was 17? No, you I don't know why I thought she was in her 20s at that point. All right, whatever. Well, I should have went with my first instinct. Oh well. What uber successful band sang the lyric "A tiger waiting to be tamed" singing? What? Uber successful band sang the lyric "A tiger waiting to be tamed" singing. Uber? I don't think it's Can't Stop. I don't think it's Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't think it's How You Remind Me. So it's either Beautiful Day or by U2 or Clocks by Coldplay. What the hell is Clocks? I mean, I know the song. I just don't know the title of it. I'm gonna say U2. No, it's Coldplay, isn't it? It's Coldplay. Why? I don't listen to Coldplay much. I don't hate Coldplay. I don't listen to them. Can you name this emotionally intense hit from 2007? Probably not. Our Innocence and All the Promise We Adored. Wait, whoa, hold on. Our Innocence slash and All the Promise We Adored. Oh god, I'm trying also not to do the thing of singing because I'm like, when I don't want to embarrass myself too, I don't want to get copyright. But sometimes it's like, we are broken. I don't think that's is that Paramore? 2007. Hold on, wait, what came out in 2007? My heart is broken. Hold on. Okay, American Idiot. I don't think so because that was 2004. We are broken. When did that song came out? Now I'm trying to remember which album that is. Is that on Riot? I don't remember. I don't think that's on Riot. I think that is All We Know Is Falling, so that can't be it either. So My Heart Is Broken by Evanescence, or I Don't Love You. I from that, but like My Chemical Romance had that. It has to be Evanescence, correct? No, it's from Riot. What the hell? I need to listen to Riot apparently again. It's been a while. It's been a while. Anyway. It's embarrassing. that one's embarrassing. Someone's gonna take my credit away from me, but that one would be like, how could you not? They're on rock stuff at least, but it's like I thought that was from All We Know Is Falling. I don't know why. This one sure has a glitzy dance. Wait, this one sure was a glitzy dance floor hit. Who declared license plate says stunner #1 superstar in their lyrics? It's Pink. Okay. It took me a second. I started thinking it, so I was like, wait. I do recognize the lyric. He had a string of hits throughout the 2000s, but which song is this? So don't worry about the situation. I never let you go. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. So don't worry about the situation. I never let you go. Couldn't tell you for the life of me which one. I don't think it's gonna be the Lady to Loca. Someone had a strain of hits. Let's say, for the sake of it, between Usher and Justin Timberlake, because they were both really big at the time. Let's say Justin Timberlake. Nope. It's Usher. It's Usher. Okay. 2005 was quite the year. I'm just doing so bad. I can tell you what. If I heard it, I can tell you probably some of these. At least I give you an idea which one it is. But yeah, no. Lyrics, not doing great. 2005 was quite the year when this debut single hit the ears of listeners everywhere. Guess the song. Dancing to Electro Pop Like a Robot Night. Okay, I know that one. That is Arctic Monkeys. That one, at least that was like the chorus area, so I know that. Okay, let's end this with a bang. Can you guess this 2001 empowerment ballad? You thought that I'd be stressed without you, but I'm chillin'. What? 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 Wait, okay, let's end this. Okay. Can you guess this 2001 empowerment ballad? You thought that I'd be stressed without you, but I'm chillin'. Survivor? Question mark? Okay. See results? I don't want to see my results. I know I'm not good. Let's see. How many did we get right? Let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I got 5 out of 10. I got a D. No, not a D. I got an F actually. Point is, I did terribly, and couldn't even get the ones that might have actually been worth it, or at least the ones that would have helped me. That's sad. Let's see if we can find another one that is vaguely similar to this. So, it's embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Oh god, there's 30 questions on this one. Screw it. We got time, I think. Actually, how much time do I have? How long have we going so far? How long have I been going so far? Where's my thing to tell me? We got some time. Yeah, we can do it. I can do it. Hold on, let me I was gonna try going into the thing to edit the thing so I can get you guys to have the thing for the thing. But yeah, okay. Where's the thing? There you go. Here we go. Hold on. Let me quickly get that thing so we can uh there we go. You don't have that. Okay, analytics, there we go. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba, 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 ba-da-ba-da. Go insane. Okay, here we go. Let's go. There's Green Day in the front, so hey, maybe this might be good. Umbrella. What the hell? Rihanna. I was like, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? In the club. Okay, well, this is a little different. Okay, I can give you titles, I suppose. Apologize. Okay. Oh, by the way, I want to go into a little bit specifics. I was like, I'm trying to make a new playlist recently, for my own personal thing. Where I call it, I'm calling it side quest. Essentially, it's like features and stuff like that on songs, and obviously like Timbaland had like One Republic on a song. I did not realize like that album specifically. Like he had a couple of bands on there that like I wasn't expecting. Like Fall Out Boy had something on there, which confused the hell out of me. It's actually not that bad. And then he had She Wants Revenge, which is like kind of okay of a song. It's okay. And then The Highs, and I'm like, I'm confused. Anyway, that's all. I just thought y'all wanted to know that. Seven Nation Army, The White Stripes. This is it? Is it just giving me titles? This is kind of boring. Miss Independent. Oh, never mind. I did shut up. Nelly? Nope, it's Neo. It's fine. Toxic. Okay, Britney Spears. I love how I was complaining, like, why it's just too easy? And I'm like, oh, God, I didn't know. I need to shut up sometimes in life. Okay. Need You Now. Nope. Lady Antebellum. Okay. Schwanger. Technically that's Kanye. Even if he uses Daft Punk. Say it right. Oh no. Because sounds. But then I gotta feel like, okay, Halo, Beyonce. Rihanna, Beyonce, Outcast. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Actually, I do like audio save. Linkin Park, good stuff. Bullet for Broken Dreams, Green Day. I better get that right. Again, I kind of shaped myself with the Paramore one, and yeah. Anyway, Eminem, Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus, Cry Me a River, Justin Timberlake. I'm going through these quickly. I Write Sense of Tragedies, Panic, and Eastward Gorillas. Complicated. Avril Lavigne. At least I can tell you that one. Real Life, Evanescence. Bad Romance, Lady Gaga, Kryptonite, 3 Days Down, Vida La Vida, Jesus, Coldplay, The Reason, Hoobastank, Down, now, that the song? Okay, I don't know, I'm going crazy. Yeah, sure. Hips Don't Lie, Shakira. Dang, I did pretty. You know what? I only missed 2 of that, but also I kind of know the titles are a little easier. I think. At least I think that took not as long as I expected that to. I thought that was gonna be longer, but I realized it wasn't lyrics. It was just titles, which is fine. I don't mind titles. Titles work. I can do titles. But you know, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I'll leave it at that because I can't really find another quiz right now. So that's probably not a bad thing. Probably because we're getting probably close enough to the end where I think I can cruise out a little bit. Like I said, a little bit. Excuse me. More just so I can just talk about random stuff again. That was a fun little thing though. Little thing. Like I said, I will say lyrics. I'm probably better with lyrics and stuff like I actually listen to. Like if it was like a Green Day thing, like I would have probably done it. I do feel embarrassed a little bit with Paramore because I'm like, it's not even a popular Paramore song. So to a point where again, like I thought that was on a different album for completely. Again, I need to listen to Riot again. It's been a long while since I listened to that album in full. So yeah, I guess that's what I'm doing. I don't know. I could do I know I did like a while back like a Fall Out Boy video where I talked about like all the songs and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know if y'all would be interested in a Paramore one. Considering I think that'd be kind of fun. Um Again, I do mostly like the mainline stuff again, like I did with like Fall Out Boy. Maybe I'd like throw in some like other stuff, but they don't really have a greatest hits or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't know how I'd put in like things like Decode and things like that, but I don't know. I could maybe throw it in there somewhere. um that way, but yeah, I don't know. That's an idea in the future. I do want to do more music stuff on this channel. It's just like it's about just time and doing it, and again I'm really trying to focus on um that Life is Strange project right now because that is gonna take me a long time to do. Not like forever, but it's definitely gonna be later in the year for sure. Um type of a thing, but I mean, making good progress on that though. I mean, again, I already have like double exposure type of thing. Like, it's not edited completely yet, but like I have everything I need for it. So, and I need to like get to writing the script for like Life is Strange and recording and all that type of thing. But like, you know, I'm pacing myself. Like, I think a decent enough type of thing. I will say when it comes to a lot of project stuff, like I kind of do want to more focus on stuff like that soon. I'm not gonna go into specifics on announcements yet or anything, but like I do want to switch a little pace. I think for this channel, not like too much. Really, it's just like I'm thinking about it. I just don't know exactly what yet, so that's why I'm not gonna really say anything yet until I have like concrete like stuff of what I'm wanting to do. I guess like a plan, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, there's that. But yeah, no, but when it comes to music, yeah, that was lyrics are not exactly my forte. Not completely. At least in the stuff like I don't know well. I have a lot of like again like pop. I don't want to say I don't listen to pop because I do like certain like pop artists. It's just I don't listen to like I guess like bubblegum pop. I think is the term for it. Very like pop song, like stuff like you hear like on the radio, like type of thing. Like I don't really listen to that as often, type of thing. So like that's kind of my Achilles heel when it comes to the 2000s. I can get some other stuff probably question mark. I don't know, but um yeah, titles and artists is a little easier because it's like, well, those go hand in hand and correlate, and that's a thing. But yeah, I like listening to stuff from the 2000s. So I listen to a lot of the stuff. It's mostly rock genre too. I'd say, and most of the stuff I listen to rock genre. Um, it's not to say I don't like some of the like pop stuff from then, because again I got the Pink one pretty easily, and I like Pink a lot actually. I don't know, like I'm not saying she's not pop, but I don't know like what level of pop I would count her as, because she has a lot of like rock inspired sound to her. Same with like Avril, I will say a little bit, even though I couldn't get complicated type of thing. But I don't know. Like I like an artist that kind of delves into like a little bit of rock, but like like for pop artists at least, I say that's kind of definitely I feel like a thing a lot in the 2000s. I feel like that's making a resurgence, sort of. I feel like and the more like recent stuff, like I feel like Chapel's doing that kind of thing. I feel like Billie Eilish as well. Like I don't know, Sabrina Carpenter and things like that. Like I don't know, I'm noticing like the hint of it like a little bit. Like that was definitely a thing like in the 2000s where like there's a little bit of hint rock tones, like not completely, but just like a hint of it. So I'm not complaining. I think that's cool. Um, I like that kind of thing. I mean, the 2000s are just making a comeback in general, which, I mean, yeah. Again, a lot of us are like now like adults that were like born from the 2000s, so it's like kind of a moment of being like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Or most of us, I should say, not all of us. Some people are still teenagers and stuff like that, which is again so weird to me. That concept. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to like say. I mean, I'm not like in the hour mark, but I don't think I really need to be in the hour mark to do much. I'm just trying to think of anything like update wise. I mean, most likely I'll stream on Saturday. I don't know what I'm gonna be streaming. I'm probably not gonna be doing a podcast. I'll tell you that, unless of course I feel like doing one. But I don't think so. I think I'm probably gonna be doing coffee talk again. Since I gave a little in between type of thing. Yeah, I probably might do a coffee talk. Either that or date everything. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of the plan for that. Otherwise, I don't got much else update wise. Like I said, the Life is Strange stuff, I guess, is going. It's going. So I am making progress. It's not like I'm doing nothing. I am making progress. So I just kind of I like telling you guys it, I guess, because it's like it's what's the word? It gives me, I think, pace, and it gives me kind of like a thing to be like, hey, I'm talking about it. I need to get with it and like actually do something with it. So, that's why I'm kind of mentioning it. It's more keeping me disciplined to actually do the video. So, but yeah, so there's that. But yeah, no, I will be streaming next week. Yeah, like I said, either like Coffee Talk 2 or Date Everything. I don't quite know yet. Like it's kind of one of those things where I make the decision pretty much like on the day sometimes. So but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. If you like it, if you dislike it, comment below. What you thought? What's the most nostalgic thing to you from the 2000s? I don't know. Sound or whatever, it can be anything. Let me know. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So bye, guys.